Hey guys, what's going on? Tyraku here, back with the regular background. So the green screen has to be taken down temporarily because my wife doesn't like the way it looks too much. It is pretty big, so we're leaving it down for right now, but it'll be up on stream if you want to check it out. Twitch.tv/Tyraku. I do like the lighting how it looks right now, which I did notice. This is a completely beside the point, but I left my chroma key on my webcam, and I turned on my green backlight, and it made my room disappear. So I'm thinking if I would have had like just solid LED green lights, I wouldn't even need a green screen. It was pretty neat. I actually like the way it looked, but for the stuff in the background, it wasn't perfect. But since this is not a improve my stream YouTube video, what I want to do today, guys, is I'm inside of Cecilien's account, who is a subscriber over on Twitch. So I do offer subscribers free account reviews on Sundays, but Cecilien also won one of the $10 gift cards from the Viking sponsored stream. So I'm jumping here, doing an account review for him, making an exception. I do offer account takeovers. If you're interested in doing an account takeover or you want to check it out, let me know on Discord and we can figure out something. But as far as today, what we're going to do, Cecilien messaged me and said that basically, let me look up the exact message he sent on Discord. So he said, a lot of times I do 20 to 23 million a key on Ultra Nightmare Clanboss, is what I assume he's talking about, because I know he hit Ultra Nightmare today. And then out of the blue, I'll do like 12 to 15, which blows my mind. So it's a lot of inconsistency, basically is what he's saying. Take a look at Ultra Nightmare. His team right here is down here. So he didn't get the fourth key. Well, he has the fourth key up here, but he doesn't have the top chest. And is he doing Nightmare too? Because this team he has right now can probably do Nightmare Clanboss perfectly fine. But when it comes to Ultra Nightmare, this team's dying. Now, I was looking at his account a few minutes before I jumped into doing this video, and I think I got a plan on what we're going to do to take this Clanboss damage from a 4 key sometimes to a 2 key every time. Maybe a 3 key whenever it goes to Spirit Affinity. This team I'm going to build is actually the exact same team that I run on my main account. That is budget unkillable with a Maneater and a Vizier. I mean, Vizier's an amazing champion. Obviously, not a lot of people have him, but if you do have him for Clanboss, he's an absolutely tremendous champion. So I'm going to do some re-gearing for him. I'm going to have to gear up the Maneater. I'm going to have to gear up the Painkeeper as well. Hopefully, I can reach the speeds needed on all of these. I actually have my account pulled up on the side, so I can check the speeds. And I'm going to try to get Cecilien's champions as close to being geared as my champions are. Hopefully we can get them even better. On my account, I do have Rosin, which it looks like he does not have Rosin yet, which would kind of throws a wrench in the plans. Not too bad though. Does he not actually have Rosin yet? No, he doesn't. So that's not a huge deal, actually. I can use Feign. She would work. I don't really want her to land this though. So I don't want the decreased attack going up when we're doing unkillable, because it's one extra debuff you don't really need on the Clanboss. However, I'll probably be using Frozen Banshee as the slow stun target. The reason why is because Frozen Banshee seems to do pretty good. On my account, I can get her to have the poisons all up by turn 7, and Vizier just extending them. I really want to decrease defense and a weaken champion. And when I'm looking at his champions right now, I don't think he has anybody who brings decreased defense plus weaken. I don't really want to change his Zabia because she's going to be used for speed runs. Basically, when I'm doing unkillable, I want to use champions. So we have to use Maneater, we have to use Painkeeper, and we have to use Vizier, and we're probably going to use Frozen Banshee. But either way, whatever champions I use, I don't want to use champions that are going to be used for him like other parts of the game. So a Maneater, you're not really going to use him, like, it's not going to be a big deal if I gear him for unkillable. It's not going to like block him from being used anywhere else. Same thing with Painkeeper. Vizier, his only focus is really the Clanboss. Frozen Banshee, really just a clan boss there as well. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and build up the Maneater and the Painkeeper, just to go ahead and get them situated and where they should be. I'm gonna look at my Painkeeper, my Maneater, on my account, and try to build him as close as possible. So we're gonna try to get his Maneater to a speed of 254, which I don't know how Cecilien's gear is. To be honest, this could be quite the task. I don't know, like I said, how his gear is. Probably gonna be some upgrading to be done. Unfortunately, I'm not on blue stacks right now, so it's gonna be a little bit slower when it comes to upgrades, but we should be all right. We need his speed up. We need his HP to be about 38,000, 39,000, somewhere around there. His defense about 2,000, it looks like, and no accuracy. We don't want him to have any accuracy, but really it's just making sure he's fast. That's gonna be the hardest thing to hit, is the speed. So I'm gonna see if we have any speed pieces in like the speed set. That would be ideal. If not, we'll just need to pull it from somewhere else. Not a big deal, but I'm gonna get into working on this. I'm gonna work on gearing up his Maneater, and then I'll be back in just a few seconds whenever I finish gearing him up. Alright guys, so we're back now. We just finished up what I believe is going to be the Maneater build. His HP may be a little bit high, but I think it should be fine. Speed's at 254. This crit rate could come up, but I'm not for sure how easily that would be to do to get with how his gear is currently, to get that to 100%. I don't think it's gonna be huge as far as the damage. I don't think it's that big of a deal, honestly, where he's at right now. His masteries seem to be pretty decent, I believe. I'm trying to check on my account. Yeah, so that masteries seem good. We will obviously get this chance to counterattack. The Maneater can use the chance to counterattack, which is very helpful. We'll go ahead and throw this one there as well. Nobody should be taking the stun, so it's probably not going to activate anyways, but definitely worth going ahead and throwing on there. Mine as well, right? So we got him built up completely, so he's good to go. Next, we're going to go and build up the Painkeeper. This is going to be the next champion who's going to cause somewhat of an issue when building, because she is pretty gear intensive. With her, I'm going to go ahead and build her with a speed of, let me see. Like I said, I'm going to try to get it similar to how my account is. 239 is where her speed needs to be. She needs to be quite a bit higher HP than everybody else. So I'm going to try to build her to about 44,000, 45,000 most likely. We can lower a little bit of defense, and then, yeah, that should be good. So biggest thing, 239 speed. Let's get to work. All right, so we have finished up the Painkeeper build, which was literally just putting on one pair of boots, adding a glyph. Super, super easy. Her speed is 239 now, 45,000 HP, which may or may not work. We'll see once we jump in there. Her defense fairly high as well, so she shouldn't be losing a ton of health, and she shouldn't be targeted by the clan boss. That's basically the main reason why we want to do that. But overall, looks solid. I guess we'll really see once we jump into fighting the clan boss. Next is good old Frozen Banshee. She's going to be our slow target. We have to basically, the reason why Frozen Banshee is going to be so tricky to build is because we have to build her basically absolutely no defense whatsoever. So I want her to have a decent amount of HP, a little bit. I want her to be below Painkeeper, so probably about 43 to 44,000, somewhere around there. But I don't want her to have any defense whatsoever. Her base defense is 1282, basically. It's 1002, but we don't want her to go over 1300 defense at all. We want her to be decently healthy, very slow, so no speed. So it's just going to be HP and crit damage, crit rate if possible. So I'm going to get into building her, and I'll be right back as soon as she's finished, and then we'll go over her masteries as well. Alright, so we are back now after finishing up the Frozen Banshee build. This one was a little bit more tricky. So with Frozen Banshee, she's going to be the slow target. So I had to get her speed to 124. I tried to get her crit rate to 100%. Not a huge deal if we're not going to be able to make that. It won't be make or break for sure, because our main damage is going to be coming from the poisons anyways. I wanted to keep her defense as low as possible. I'm really hoping this works at 1466, but we were rolling the gloves and they got defense there. We don't have any upgrades to this shield because it's got defense and it's gonna roll more defense. I don't want to upgrade this because it could roll into speed, which could throw off the tune. Overall, we roll defense double here. Like, you always roll flat defense. Like, that's terrible luck. But hey, hopefully this is enough. Her HP is a little bit high. It's very close to Painkeeper's though. which was the goal. So it's not above it, which is the biggest thing, the most important thing. I put our masteries a little bit different than I did on my other account. So I'm gonna, hopefully these work out good. We got counterattack. We're not going accuracy tree. Any other build I would have went accuracy tree, but since we're running with Vizier, I do believe that the counterattack tree is going to be a little bit better because it's going to increase the chance of Frozen Banshee being able to apply more poisons quicker. So I'm hoping that works out good. We'll see. But now we're going to go up here and look at Vizier because Frozen Banshee, Painkeeper, and Maneater are all done now. So now that all three of those are done, we're going to build Vizier, and then we're going to check out somebody else for a damage dealer. Now, Vizier may be pretty close to damage. He actually may be already perfect. I'm going to see what my Vizier's speed is. Okay, so his speed needs to be 188. We want his defense is actually perfect. His accuracy, pretty good. He could use a lot more crit damage. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal if we're not able to get that, though. So I'll go ahead and see if I can get, what, 13 more speed on the chest plate, I believe it is, to get him to 188. And we should be good to go there. I want to get his HP up a little bit. Well, actually, his HP is perfect. So we get attack percent. That could be exactly what I need. Some attack percent with speed. It may be kind of difficult to find this. Speed. We don't have any speed sets. We could use an accuracy set. 15. I said 13 though, didn't I? What did I say? I think 190. 189 is fine, I believe. But 190 may be pushing it. Is there anything I can do to lower the speed by 1 or 2? 1 or 2, that'd be fine. Let's see. Let's see what we got going on. No speed there anyways. This chest plate's pretty good. It has the exact stats we really need. Well, we could, like I said, we could use more crit rate. We can get most of that from these gloves, though. Maybe too difficult to make that work, honestly. And we could also run a defense chest plate, just to make sure his HP doesn't drop super quick, so that we really know Frozen Banshee's not going to be, or is going to stay the stun target. Because the clan boss right now is Force Affinity, so she's going to be the stun target really either way. I want to make sure this works for most all affinities, though. So this could be decent. We need something to land on speed. Attack and accuracy is perfectly fine. Let's see if we can get something to land on speed, though. Cool. Perfect. 1. I don't really want another one. 1's perfectly fine with me. I do believe. 1, I can make it work. Throw a speed glyph on it or 2, and we should be good to go there. The one time I'm not actually wanting speed is going to be the one time where it actually rolls speed. So, with the Vizier, if we really wanted to like min-max the damage, we could definitely build him with a lot more attack, crit rate, and all that kind of stuff. But most of his damage is going to be coming from the extensions, the poison extensions and stuff. So it's not going to be a huge deal that it's not like absolutely min-maxed. I'm going to go ahead and get this to 16 though. We're going to take this to 16 and try my best to get his crit rate to 100%. And then we'll be back with a complete Vizier build. All right, so this is the complete Vizier. I do believe this one's good enough to try out at least. We're at 32,000 HP. Hopefully that's plenty. The defense should make up for anything we got lacking in HP. His speed, 187. I would like for that to have been 188, or 189 even. 187 should be perfectly fine though. Accuracy is good. Once we have Frozen Banshee as a leader, everything should work out perfectly fine. I went ahead and redid his masteries. The most important one here, the two most important ones are Retribution for counterattack, help him extend more quickly, and then Giant Slayer. His ability 1 hits 3 times, so we're definitely going to have that proccing a lot, and that's where a lot of his damage is going to come from. Also, this kind of helps just to make sure everything works out well. So we have Vizier complete, we have Maneater complete, We have Painkeeper complete. We have Frozen Banshee, who's going to be the slow target, the stun target complete. And now I just need to find somebody who's going to work as a extra damage dealer. So on my unkillable team, on my account, I use Rosin, like I said. On this one, though, we're going to have to mix it up, I do believe. That Fane has a lot of accuracy. Holy crap. We may be able to use Fane. She can probably work in an unkillable team. Like this is good, but you don't want to use that on auto. Like I don't want this to hit. I do want that. That's really the main thing I want, is the decreased defense and weaken. And if you don't have Rosin, I believe this is really our only option. You could throw Kreela in here, but it starts to get possibly a little bit weird, especially since I believe you use her for something else. No, you use Longbeard for something else. But since our goal is ultimately just to get into the 2-key range, Bane should be fine. Now, I'm trying to think of the issue with running 3 different affinities, so Force, Spirit, and Magic, is it's going to cause a little bit of trouble on Force affinity. Because what's going to happen is on Spirit affinity, Vizier is going to be targeted. On Magic affinity, Bane's probably going to take aggro and be targeted as a stun target. And then on everything else, Frozen Banshees. So to prevent you from having to just do Void and do well, I want to find another damage dealer who's just from Force affinity, hopefully. I mean, I really want the decreased defense and weaken. But do you use... I've never used Candrafon on unkillable teams. So that may be kind of weird. And your Zavia... Do you have anybody by any chance who's like... I wonder if you have anybody who's already speed tuned. You do not, so never mind. We have these three these options. Can't use Bad L because we don't need the continuous heals. That's not going to work very well. Can't use Zavia because I know you use her other places. He does not have what we need, unfortunately. I think Candrafon is really the only option we have here. Make sure it grants extra turn and resets cooldown if this attack kills an enemy, so we don't have to worry about that. Places a perfect veil. Increase speed. Dang, okay. Well, crap. So the other option would be to get a magic champion. So I could build somebody like Grave Chill Killer. But you don't have her mastered, and we're pretty low on tokens right now. So she's not going to be doing as much damage. But bringing her as a decreased defense, that could work out well. Because this way, you'll be weak to only Spirit affinity. Because Vizier's going to be targeted on Spirit affinity. When you're using budget unkillable, some affinities are more difficult than others. Okay, so you get some actually... we got Rear Guard, which is not really going to be doing what I need her to do. I guess we could use a Void champion as well. Void would work. Do we have a Void champion hidden in here? Okay. Spider. Could make him possibly work. It's a weaken. Is he mastered? He is mastered. Does he do much damage? No. And he's in shield set. So never mind that idea. If we use a Void, we don't have to worry about it being the focus either, because it's a Void champion. Is there any Void with a decreased defense and weaken? I don't believe you do have one. I don't believe so. Rosin's going to be the one you definitely sub in. So Rosin's definitely going to be the person you want to get whenever you unlock him, because he will allow you to do quite a bit more damage. But I still think with the poisons and how everything's working, I think we can still squeeze a 2-key Nightmare range, Ultra Nightmare. If not, definitely 3-key. Like, without a doubt, 3-key. I'm really going to want to shoot for 2-key, though. I'm thinking Grave Chill Killer can make that work. I mean, she'll stack the poisons even quicker. Only issue is you need to use her ability 1 until poison sensitivity is up, right? Places 5% poison if they're on poison sensitivity. Okay, so we gotta use her A1 until Frozen Banshee gets her ability up. And then as far as gems go, you don't have enough gems for me to mastery Grave Chill. So I'll go ahead and get her complete. We should be fine without the masteries right now. It's gonna be so much better with them. But for the time being, I'm gonna go ahead and gear Grave Chill Killer up, test her out to see how she performs. I'm gonna go ahead and book her up though. We definitely need to do that. You're actually pretty low on books, dang. So we need this buff and debuff chance fixed. So we gotta use some of these. I really want to land them quickly. The cooldown's not a huge deal. Yeah, so actually that's perfectly fine. I just want to place this quick. So the cooldown's not a huge deal, 40% chance of placing. We'll just use it a few turns, and if not, Frozen Banshee will apply it. So taking the minimalist approach here, I'm going to go ahead and get her geared up, and we'll be back in just a few seconds. Alright guys, now is the time to see if the work has paid off. This is the Grave Chill Killer, 33,000 HP, defense 2655. Hopefully that's good enough. 187 speed, 220 accuracy. No masteries, we can't afford them. Don't have enough gems. So this is a budget unkillable team. Let's jump here to the Clanboss. Really hoping this is going to work out. It is Force Affinity, so he's going to do quite a bit of damage, especially to Frozen Banshee and Grave Chill Killer. But I'm confident this is going to work. Make sure you have your damage dealers right here, and your Painkeeper and your Maneater in the back row. They take less aggro, less focus back here, I believe. That's what I've been told. That's what I always do. Now, cross our fingers, and let's hope for the best. So it's going to have to do manual for a few turns. I mean, obviously, Maneater does that on auto. We do Painkeeper's A3 first. Clanboss does that. Everything looks good now. So far, so good, which is not saying very much. Okay, so we can use his A3 here. There's nothing to extend just yet, unfortunately. Use that. And then Frozen Banshee, hopefully doesn't apply it. That's very, very unfortunate because now we have to wait several more turns for her to actually apply it. We can go ahead and just use A2, I believe, for her. Not A2. We can just use it on auto, I believe. Actually, I take that back because I think she applies a weak decreased defense. I need to do that. I need to keep her on manual doing her A1 ability. Because this ability right here can apply a weak decreased defense, and we don't want that. Go ahead and try this again. I really want a poison to come up. Unfortunately, it's going to possibly take a little bit of time. The thing is with the Clanboss is you can definitely keep resetting it over and over and over now. Just force close the game, and you can do it again. That is definitely helpful. The weak hit wouldn't apply the poison, unfortunately. Okay, Frozen Banshee didn't get her Frostblight up yet. The aggro's staying good. Like Frozen Banshee's HP is very, very low, which is perfect. Exactly what I want to see. Another weak hit. That's the struggle with Force Affinity. I kind of expected this to happen. Unfortunately, it's already turn 5, so I may have to cancel this and go again. But I'm hoping to start seeing some poisons coming out. There we go. We got one poison. Nothing yet. Hopefully Vizier can make the best of this. Start to extend it. Yeah, okay, there we go. We got Vizier doing something now. Like, he's not just having nothing to extend at all. We'll start getting some extra turns. I think the damage should start really ramping up. We can go ahead and try to apply the decreased defense. Resisted. Her accuracy is a little too low, apparently. I believe I put her at like 230. So maybe we need to squeeze a little bit more out. Perfect. That's going to be really, really big for us. Hopefully, hoping that Vizier actually extends this. If not, we're going to have to wait a while for that to cycle back around. This can apply Okay, perfect. Nice. There we go. Now, I guess there one good side about not having a weaken or decreased defense up right now is that we can apply more poisons. So that it could be a plus. If there is any plus side to this, that could be the plus. We can basically just use this on auto now, I believe, other than Vizier's turn. Vizier has to manual until there's about 7 stacks, seven turns out of the debuff. We want full 10 debuffs up. Just want to make sure they have 7 turn duration, basically. Like I said, I really want her to place a decreased defense. It's going to help Vizier do a little bit more damage. Obviously, it's not going to scale up the poison damage, and it may not even be that big of a deal. Honestly, having a full thing of poisons may be better off. So we'll have to see. Maybe worth testing out whether the full thing of poisons or the decreased defense does better. I do like the idea of the decreased defense, though, and it did land. So I'm not going to change anything there. We should start seeing some counterattacks coming out from Frozen Banshee as well as Vizier, which is nice. Obviously, for Cecilien, if he wants to get these champions with their crit rate higher, keep the stats relatively the same, like the HP, the defense, and the speeds and everything, but you want to increase their crit rate, crit damage, that will increase your overall damage output. The most important thing I think is going to be getting Rosin or a decreased defensive weakened champion, because right now, even if Vizier's crit damage and everything like that was a lot higher, the damage wouldn't be a massive difference because you don't have the decreased defense and weaken. Like, all the damage is coming from the poisons, and this may be better off not even being on there, that decreased defense, honestly. But we'll go ahead and see how this plays out. Maybe it does really good. Who knows? Maybe it's perfect. Maybe it's in that 2 to 3 key nightmare range. I want to see 30 to 35 million damage on Force Affinity. Would be pretty awesome. I'd definitely be satisfied with that. Considering even before this, Cecilien said I believe he was getting 20 million Ultra Nightmare. So this is going to be a huge jump if we're able to actually get this to work. Like I said, there's a lot of potential to squeeze out of this team still. One big one being the actually getting the masteries on Grave Chill. That'll fix her resistance problem for sure. If you take the support masteries, if you do the defense masteries, which is what I would recommend, then she'll just have more counterattacks and stuff. She'll actually have a counterattack ability, which will be nice. So we are about 7 right now. I'm going to try to extend it one more time. I really want to make sure nothing falls off. So we're going to get Vizier to hopefully extend these to like turn 8 turns out or whatever. So I'm going to do it one more time, unless he counterattacks here and gets it to work. Okay, he doesn't. Everything looks good though. Like, very easy auto. Just getting the debuffs applied and then manualing with Vizier, turning it on auto until Vizier's turn comes around, and then we're using his A1. If I can get to 8 with this last one, I'll go ahead and switch it to auto, and then we'll skip to the end to see how everything goes. We're at turn 22. We're about 10 million damage behind right now, 12 million, 10 to 12 million. So at that point, we're on track to do 2 key damage, I believe. And the poisons are going to be up the whole time. Vizier's hitting for what I believe is like 6,000 damage, which is definitely not that much. My Vizier, I believe, hits for like 20,000 damage, so that weaken is being a big difference. Maybe not 20,000, maybe 15,000, but either way, the weaken will add a decent amount extra. So I'm almost thinking this decreased defense, like I said multiple times, is actually better off, like, not even applied. We got 5 out. Perfect. Now Vizier's gonna start using his other abilities. I'm gonna leave it on auto. If Vizier starts to be a little bit weird, I'm gonna turn it to manual to go ahead and get these debuff stacks up higher, because you gotta be careful with Vizier. Unless you like stack it to like 10 or something, he sometimes gets funky with the stacks. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip to where the clan boss is done. We have all 50 turns out, hopefully, and we'll see how everything is playing out. Obviously, this is not super interesting, so I'll see you guys in just a few minutes. Alright guys, so we're closing in on the very last turn. I don't want to finish this out because I want to see if I rerun the clan boss, what the damage is going to be. So I'm going to go ahead and force close this, but we are at 30 million damage. So this is definitely good. Very solid 3 key on Force Affinity. I do believe Magic Affinity can definitely 2-key the Clanboss because it's going to be strong for Vizier and neutral for everybody else. So I'm going to go ahead and force close the game, save the key for Cecilien. We can go ahead and try it again. All right, guys, so we're back after 7 times of resetting the Clanboss, I do believe. Hopefully this is going to fix it for good. The issue is that on Force Affinity, applying the debuffs is very weird with Magic Affinity champions. They miss it what seems like all the time. And when Vizier's job is to extend debuffs, and there's no debuffs to extend, he doesn't do that too good. He does not do too good. Or whenever Vizier decides to take a day off and not extend the debuffs whenever they're actually applied, not too good either. Now, since the previous run, I sped Gravechill Killer up to be 1 faster than Vizier, so that she's actually doing this poison before Vizier goes, so it gives us a chance to have a little bit more poison, so he actually is extending it. Perfect. I also booked Gravechill. Please, please, please land this. Perfect. I would have booked Frozen Banshee if I realized she wasn't fully booked out yet. Unfortunately, I did not realize that though, so she is not fully booked. Her Poison Blight or whatever is 1 extra cooldown, so it's gonna take a little bit longer than it should. Hopefully that's fine this time. I'm gonna test this out with no decreased defense, hopefully. I've had several times where everything's going really good, going very smooth, and then all of a sudden I forget to turn off an auto, she uses her A2, and then of all times it actually applies decreased defense. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time. Hopefully it's a very smooth run with no user error from me. So we can auto everybody except for Gravechill and Vizier. I want to get Vizier to extend these out to turn 7, and then I can turn on auto for a little while. But I really want to just stack this whole thing up with poisons. All poisons. The reason why, I mentioned it a little bit before, nobody here is crit cap. Nobody here is really doing a ton of damage, so I do think a lot of the damage is going to come from the poisons. I mean, it's turn 5. We're starting to build up the poisons right now. If it's any other affinity, I think we could have already had the poisons stacked up. Unfortunately, it's Force, so they are missing quite a bit. I mean, there was a chance to, I think, apply 2 poisons there. She got resisted. Her accuracy is fairly high, so I'm kind of surprised she got resisted, honestly. Which I guess there's always a chance to be resisted. These are already at 10 stacks. Oh my gosh. This is just showing you that having weak hits does not feel good. We got a poison applied there. Perfect. Oh my gosh. So I gotta dodge this. I gotta let this fall off. I do not want decrease attack up on the Clanboss because it's just 1 buff that's wasting spots. It's literally worse than what the decreased defense possibly did, which I don't know if decreased defense was bad necessarily. But we're gonna see during this run. I mean, it's gonna be kind of hard to really tell if we don't actually get the poisons up. If it's like turn 15 and we don't have a full bar of poisons, it's gonna be a pretty difficult run. I'm still interested to see how it ends up turning out though. If Frozen Banshee would actually apply both of the poisons one time, that would help us out so much. If we get a double stack application from Frozen Banshee as well as Gravechill, it'd be huge. Because she can apply 2 as well, right? Yeah. Got 1. Our people are being kind of lazy, honestly. Our team, like, look at this. Vizier doesn't extend the buffs. Frozen Banshee doesn't. Oh, she applies 2 that time. Well, would have been nice to do a while back, actually. But maybe we get everything filled out here. Turn 11. Getting a little bit late. We got some things applied. Perfect. Some extensions I'd like to see. We got 1 more. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we just need 1 more double stack to land, and then we'll be good to go. And then Vizier continue to extend, of course. Because if he doesn't extend, then stuff falls off, and then it's just bad news. Looking good. Double. Gosh, there's 2 weak hits. Holy crap. Well, if this works out good, you know that you can do okay even if your poisons don't land at the perfect time. Okay, we got everything fully up. Turn 14, and we are fully stacked, I do believe. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Let's continue to use these abilities correctly. Everybody can go on auto now. So we got a full debuff bar. Everybody was on auto except for Vizier. Whenever it comes close to Vizier's turn, I'll turn him on to manual. Uses A1 until there's about, I'm going to do 8 stacks until there's 8 turns out with this. And then I'll turn him back to auto. Let him run to turn 49, hopefully, just to see where his damage is at then. And we kind of see like, hey, is it better to have the decreased defense on there, or is it better to have it off with the champions how we have them now? So definitely interested in seeing how that pans out. Like I said earlier though, Grave Chill's missing her masteries. So once she gets those done, it's going to be a huge bump, I do believe, with damage. I mean, she'll have War Master hitting every turn, so chance to at least, which will add quite a bit of damage. And some counterattack masteries, which would be huge as well. So overall, it's going to be a very big help. Do one more turn. There we go. Perfect. So I'll be back at turn 49 to see if we beat the 30 million damage that we did earlier with the decreased defense applied. Alright guys, so we are back now. Very last turn of the clan boss. As you can see, we're at 29 million damage. And you may notice that there is a decreased defense debuff. So around turn 40, I believe, Vizier decided to stop extending the debuffs. A few poisons fell off. And then before I turned off auto, Dagon Grave Chill Killer decided, hey, I'm going to apply the decreased defense that you're trying to test out. So that was been on for a few turns now, unfortunately. However, we did basically the same damage as before. And with the poisons not stacking up until turn, what was it? Like turn 14 or so, we didn't have a full bar of poisons until turn 14. Plus we had some fall off. I strongly think that decreased defense is better not applied right now. I think it's better if you just use the poisons and don't worry about decreased defense when your champions don't hit that hard necessarily anyways, and basically all the damage is coming from poisons. So that's what I would do, is just not worry about applying the decreased defense anyways. You may even be able to sub Grave Chill Killer out, but if you get her masteries fully complete, I definitely think this is going to be a 2-key Ultra Nightmare team, and this being the weak affinity for 2 of these champions, this is pretty good damage. I mean, these 2 are basically doing 0 damage other than from their poisons. So ultimately, this is a very big jump from, I believe you said earlier, let me see what Cecilien said. He said that the damage is between 20 and 23 million a key. So we bumped that up from 20 to 23 million to now 30 million on the low end, or like the average end. I definitely think that with the masteries and everything, we can bump this up to 33, 35 million or whatever. What is 2-key Ultra Nightmare damage? I think it's 33.5, right? Or 35 exactly. So what's 70 mil? Let's say 71 divided by 2. So 35.5 million damage. Yeah, you can definitely get that with this team you have right now. Just take a few adjustments and you'll be perfectly there. So I hope you enjoyed that, Cecilien. I hope that makes sense. I hope you enjoy your newfound Ultra Nightmare rewards each and every day. Hopefully guys, I'm going to jump in here and show you everything one more time, the stats of everybody. So Vizier, these are his stats. These are Vizier's masteries. This is Man-Eater's stats. These are his masteries. Painkeeper stats. Painkeeper's masteries. Those Grave Chill Killer masteries, non-existent. Her stats. And then good old Frozen Banshee doing most of our damage. Here are her masteries. And this is her stats. So I hope you guys took away a little bit of information from that. Maybe you have a team like this you can build. This is very similar to my main account's team, just using a different damage dealer. Definitely think Rosin could do well in here also. So thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video.